I want to talk about the nature of Jupiter, Pluto, and what's hidden from view, what's under the surface. This whole week ahead it's kind of got like a happy ending. But if you feel like you want to grind your teeth or clench your fists, sort of Sunday through to Wednesday, the asteroid Wuhan and Hephaistos are highly activated this week.
Lunatic astrology.
The astrology for the week of May 4th to the 10th is a bit of a mixed bag. We start the beginning of this week in a pressure cooker energy, collectively and individually. On the other hand, we finish strong as the weekend approaches and we move into this beautiful flow between the benefic planet Jupiter and the sun. This energy is gorgeous and beautiful and life-sustaining, and it can bring opportunities that are both golden and delicious. So let's talk about how to deal with Monday through Wednesday. And then moving into the weekend, Friday through to the end of the weekend, feeling a lot of the goodness of the week ahead come upon each of us, including the world and stories that are difficult for all of us to deal with in our collective society right now. Now, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Lori Lothian. This is Western Tropical Zodiac Astrology. This is not sidereal. And in today's video, we're going to talk mostly for you about your sign. At the very end of this video, I'll have an extended member section just for my people on YouTube and of course Patreon as well, where I'm just going to talk a little bit more freely about the world events in relationship to some of the sky stories ongoing. But I will still touch lightly in the beginning on the world astrology for you today. And so very welcome to my channel. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you for being here. You know, guys, I have my Divine Timing Masterclass starting this weekend. Like I'm recording for you April 30th. And my class starts this Saturday. I'm so excited. And I was spending the whole day yesterday doing a bunch of slides for the big first class presentation. And I had so much fun doing it. But more than that, I kind of remembered how much I love astrology, because when I teach it, I fall back in love with it every time. So if you're at all interested in learning 5 timing tools that are pretty much for advanced beginners to intermediate students, please come aboard. You can probably catch one of the last 2 classes or whatever, depending on when you're listening to this video. Sign up for them a la carte, etc. Information will be in the description box below. All right. So my first thing I want to talk about this week ahead, and I will be showing you the sky, is I want to talk about the nature of Jupiter. And the reason I want to do that today is that he's a huge player, not only this week, but next week as well. And Jupiter has to be understood as goodness. All right. So hypothetically, his gravitational pull, right, is allowing for that asteroid belt that smashed, obliterated what might have been a planet, that asteroid Tiamat, anyone, that asteroid belt not to fall towards the sun, gravitational pull of the sun, and lose its orbital positions. And those asteroids that are circling, between Mars and Jupiter. Jupiter has its own magnetic pull, its own gravitational field. And so astronomers suggest that keeps us safe from the rubble of the asteroid belt. And what does that mean? Jupiter is life affirming. Therefore, in astrology, he rules life affirming things like abundance and prosperity and children and, truth and goodness and dispeller of darkness and wisdom and guru and teacher. So he's called the greater benefic. And I have to contextualize him here today. So when you go and talk about a square that Jupiter will be doing this week, or he'll be entangled with Mars in Aries, Jupiter exalted in Cancer, 2 very strong planets squaring off with each other, you're going to sometimes go, oh no, it's a square to malefic Mars. But Jupiter is holding a superpower. Not only is he Jupiter, but he's also in a condition of exaltation within the sign of the moon, the temple of the moon, which is Cancer. So in this regard, we got to give Jupiter a little bit of credit for making what could be a kind of a square energy, which is demanding of decisions, actions, and change, right? It kind of forces your hand. But with Jupiter, it is still a positive energy. So I want to bring that up right up front. The second difficult energy is not so easy to deal with always, Pluto. And what's hidden from view, what's under the surface, what we can't see, that's very Pluto, right? A war, the darker stories, the shame, betrayal, abandonment, compulsion, obsession stories of Pluto. Pluto being in Aquarius will be in a form, because of Mercury's movement through Aries, an energy that we might find a little bit interesting. I don't know if it's going to be challenging or interesting. I'm going to show you the chart. And the other thing I want to mention to you about this whole week ahead is it's kind of got like a happy ending. And it's coming through this weekend into next week, where not only is Jupiter forming flowing aspects to next week, Mercury, and next week also to the sun, but also we feel his energy building up already this week. So Friday this week through to next week, there's a kind of sea change. And I know a lot of people here are really stressed out. I am about, the global economy and what's going to happen with the Strait of Hormuz. But I have a feeling that this could be at least a temporary silver lining or golden glow that could help solve some of the temporary problems that we're experiencing, which looks like fuel shortages and fertilizer shortages in the pipeline. Alrighty, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the chart and show it to you with Mercury in the sign of the bull, Taurus, and squaring Pluto in Aquarius. We're probably looking at something to do with the financial markets. I will say that. So I'm going to give you a heads up. There may be some turbulence in the stock markets, financial markets, currency markets the week ahead. I mean, it's more likely than not, it's also uncovering things that may have been hidden, like bad economic news that we didn't know about, or stuff like that, or the dastardly level of unlikelihood that the oil flow will be coming back again anytime soon. And we're possibly going to see some China stories, because China, Aquarius rising, China, ally of Iran, China may indeed be very big on our news cycle regarding the situation in the Middle East this week ahead. China may be striving for diplomacy or hard tactics, right? Because it's a square from the sign of Taurus. And Taurus is also associated with the son of the nation of Il in the Middle East, okay? I'm not going to say the whole name. It could flag me here. And that particular nation has gone to war with every one of its neighbors forever and ever, all amen, and will expand its territory as it desires biblically. That nation is literally also got a Taurus position. It's where its sun sits, not where Mercury is. Mercury's a little not too early in Taurus for that to really be exact, but the sun of a country represents its leadership, right? And so there's a potential intensity around the leadership of the IL nation, and some big changes going on there, revelations, secrets, or news as well. Donald Trump, J.D. Vance have their midheavens in Taurus. Pluto's unearthing secrets, unearthing things that are hidden from view. We're coming off that Scorpio moon on May the 1st. I've already done a video on it, so I'm not going to talk about it again this week. That moon recapitulates in the lunar shadows technique, and go listen to it, everything to do with the E-files, and particularly the President of the United States. So we're likely to see that moon this week combined with Mercury and Pluto and revelations for anyone with a strong reputation in Taurus. So midheaven in Taurus is J.D. Vance. Midheaven in Taurus is Donald Trump. So those are some overviews. In my members only, I'll go a little bit deeper. I want to spend some time with you, helping you navigate this week ahead and get a sense of how there is a beautiful glow at the end of it all. But if you feel like you want to grind your teeth or clench your fists, sort of Sunday through to Wednesday, you might feel it coming on late in the weekend. I totally get it. In fact, the weekend behind us, because you're hopefully listening to this in a timely manner. So the weekend of, the 1st and 2nd of the month, and going back Friday the 31st. Friday the 1st. That's when we have the moon in Scorpio. That moon's intense. We had a beautiful sextile between Venus and Saturn on the weekend behind this recording. And so you might have actually been able to sail through the weekend feeling pretty chill, even after that Scorpio lunation on Friday, which I saw that big full moon outside yesterday driving back from my daughter's birthday party. And we had a nice foot massage with a bunch of people and dinner out. And it looked this big, guys. It looked this big. And that's Scorpio moon. Anytime you see a full light, like a torchlight or flashlight in Scorpio, it's always going to reveal things that are hidden about yourself, your own shadow, your shadow work, or collectively in the, icky under the rock slimy stuff that the collective must witness and see. By the way, if you're into jewelry, I love these jewels. I'm not getting an affiliate fee. This is Sanda, her name is, and she's got a beautiful moon glow jewelry line. And this is just one of her beautiful gems that she sent me for free. I just as a friend as the channel. And of course, I like to share when I wear jewelry by you guys, or even some of my people like Otter Spirit. otter spirit. You get a discount for all otter spirit beads. Go below and find out more. This is turquoise, aventurine, and quartz, I believe. And so go check out all my jewelry links below. I'm a jewelry nut, Venus and Taurus at birth. Give me the flowers, the chocolate, the wine, and the jewelry, and a cigar as well. In fact, I need a good cigar. I haven't had one in a dog's age. All right, so let's get going. Let's get started. I am your lunatic astrologer. Lunatics, let's get rolling. We're going to start with Aries, and then we'll get back in the back end at the end of this hour. We'll really dive into the situation for the world. FYI, just a teaser: the asteroid Wuhan and Hephaistos are highly activated this week. Highly activated. And it's a little daunting because Wuhan is about revolution. Although we think of it as the origin of a particular pandemic, it is literally about an overthrow or a revolutionary energy. That's the history of what happened in that city in China. So, and then Hephaistos is the armor of the gods who tosses and throws those dam who made the thunderbolts of Zeus. So you can always think of Hephaistos either as an artisan crafting beautiful things in his blacksmithy way, like the magic girdle of Venus, his wife. Or you can think of him like, I'm going to make Zeus's thunderbolts for him. So when we think of armoring and gods, we can think of weapons manufacturing, And so there may be some news stories about that, and we'll see what happens this week ahead. Righty now, let's go ahead and start with Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you like my content, you're entertained, or if you find it useful, would you consider doing a good old like button? That does support my channel, and you can now hype it as well, something funky and new. And you can like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my all signs videos. There's a ton of them. We're going to move us back to Aries. Obviously, I'm on Monday, May the 4th, and we're just going to move us back in time. I've had quite an interesting last 24 hours, guys. I'm not even going to tell you how weird it has been. Now, May the 4th is Monday. And we're coming off of a beautiful sextile between Venus and Saturn on the weekend, which could have given us all a super good chill vibe, where Venus in the sign of sociability and communication, Gemini, would it have been behind us Friday, Saturday, Sunday in a lovely flow to Saturn. So you probably felt stabilized in love or pleasure or money or whatever else you were up to on the weekend. Here we come Monday, and Monday gives us a bit of a pause, like, what is that energy? Well, the first thing I want to notice is that because we end up with Mars exalted, right? In his home kingdom, and Jupiter exalted, and you can see 19 degrees and 19 degrees in a perfect square. And this will persist into Tuesday as they both continue the square. Okay, we're going to say Monday and Tuesday, building Sunday, ending Wednesday, is something important. Sometimes Mars can show his hand even when he's 3 degrees away from Jupiter, which can overlap the weekend. And I'm recording this on a Thursday. And I know that the US government tends to drop dastardly news stories on a Friday. So we could also see that as looking hindsight, a Friday dastardly news story. But in our own lives, I kind of get this vibe that, as we approach Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you're in an orb of intensity. The best word I can say is intensity. For all of us. I'm not going to talk about your sign. It's just a gist of it, right? There's a decision, an action, a conflict, an aggression, a movement, a motivation, a drive, Mars, Jupiter, an opportunity for something luxurious, growth, expansion, good, true, wise, positive. But always squares, they kind of alert us to make a decision. Mars is a ruler of choice because we must dissect and divide. So you might be faced with a decision moment that's connected to an opportunity. Now, I did do your all signs stuff. It's already out. Go check it out. Your all signs content for the month of May has already been released. Individual signs for your playlist, and also a really long playlist as well is coming out on this day. I'm recording Thursday, which is like 9 hours long, but it staples together all the signs with an intro to the month ahead by me. So please check all that other content out, right? Before you just, think that this is the only place you can get it. I got everything you need to know in the longer formats. The other thing I want to mention is, of course, briefly, the asteroids, because I'll cover that in the extended members. That's Wuhan on Jupiter, period. That's a sign of water. This is a revolutionary asteroid, about a revolution in a city in the history of China called Wuhan. And so there's an overthrow energy, a revolutionary energy here. Jupiter can mean leaders, people in positions of power. Jupiter can mean governments, and economic systems as well. And secondly, we have the asteroid of the armor of the gods sitting at 15 degrees of Taurus. Now that's a mere 7 or 8 degrees away from the sun of the nation of Il, the one that's at war with all its neighbors in the Middle East. So and Benjamin Netanyahu is born with the armor of the gods pretty close to his midheaven, his career and purpose point. And yes, he loves those iron swords. And so there's something going on, I'm going to predict, early in the week, through the weekend into early in the week, as far out as Wednesday, to do with that country. And just Mercury co-present means news, information. Mercury co-present with reveals of things that are hidden, toxic, compulsive, dark, destructive, right? News, information. It could be a speech by the leader of IL. It could be actual events, because this is important. And this is coming through Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday for sure, maybe even earlier. But by then we'll feel it. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for sure, if it's information or news. All right. And just because Mars is the god of war and he's in the sign of war, and in the world, he's squaring Jupiter and revolutionary Wuhan, we're going to see potentially some kind of aggression connected to war, connected to cancer. Now, I really want to talk about this for my extended members. I don't want to be demonetized, right? But this does not look good for the nation of IL vis-a-vis Iran. And I want to say another thing. You know, it's very common sense, okay? I want everyone to use a little common sense that Mars is the champion, warrior, hero, a soldier, and aggressor. He's in the sign of Aries. The sun of Iran is at 11 degrees of Aries. Through his entire transit, April the 9th to May the 18th, he's in favor toward Iran. It's like having, you know, your super soldier general guy or something on team Iran. And that's why this war is not gone in the favor of other countries, well, the US in particular. And so that favoritism to Iran seems to linger through till the third week of May. So, and because the nation of IL has this part of the chart representing its governing body, its executive branch, and its leadership, Cancer, something dastardly bad, or depends on which side you're on in this fight, is going on regarding the nation of Iran and Israel. I think it favors Iran, whatever it is. You know, the decapitation moves are very powerful when it comes to the strategy of the nation of IL. They love to assassinate people. And I probably shouldn't have said that word. And it's not like that other country couldn't try the same trick. So we'll see. We'll see what that looks like. I'm predicting the potential maybe attempt on a leader of the nation of IL to cause harm to that person by a country that they're at war with. Alrighty. All right now. And the son of the nation of IL's leader, Netanyahu, has his sun over here in Libra opposite Mars. So Mars opposite your sun is not good for your leadership, and it's not good for your life force energy. So yes, we can say something could be happening because that forms a T square. So you where I'm circling here, that's where, you know, the prime minister or president, whatever, Netanyahu's sitting here, his sun opposite Mars, right? T square to this energy. So something is happening. Maybe he's just going to be deposed from power or something in his country. Let us move forward and let's talk about each sign. And the extended members will dive a little deeper into the world stuff at the end. All right, guys, Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign. I don't know how you're feeling, but April 9th to May 11th, we got Mars in our sign. I don't suffer fools gladly. I'm pretty willing to cut, end, and sever as needed. I can be a little more aggressive than usual. How are you guys feeling? Right? Sun, career, purpose, moon, home, and nest, rising sign, everything about your simulation avatar. So we can be driven, passionate, work hard, aggressive, and sometimes vitalized, because Aries, we are Mars's kingdom. So we can get an extra boost of energy during this time, and we're really driven to accomplish something. But I bring that up because as we head into Monday to Tuesday, there's a square to Jupiter. It's almost like there's an opportunity emerging connected to your prosperity, your truth, wisdom, and knowledge, connected to your home life, where you live, your domicile. And Mars is like, okay, when push comes to shove, we got to decide here what we're going to do. And so look for these kind of maybe home altering or direction altering decisions, and also career altering. Mars exalts your 10th house of career. I would say there's a major decision point coming Monday through Wednesday for all of us Aries. It will impact our home life as well, but also our prosperity as a general principle. Especially true if you make digital income, borderless revenue, and you get money from international shores and distant lands. That's going to impact some choices and decisions you make regarding those things. And then we also have to cope with or deal with Mercury spilling the beans because he's squaring Pluto. Mercury square Pluto, what kind of news or information is being dug up from underneath the surface regarding money, finances, friendship, alliances, groups of belonging, a sibling one older, maybe even a tussle of a financial conversation happening with somebody in your social groups or circles. And there's just this like either intense dialogue or deep discovery going on the money front. All right, especially the way you earn money relative to your position in your career, and some unearthing or revelation might be happening here. As we move to the weekend, I totally love next weekend. You're going to feel really lovely Friday through to Sunday. Sun, Jupiter sextile, golden opportunities emerging for something positive financially. And it will feel like, I will just call it golden light, golden opportunity, goodness on the money front connected to property, land, home, and real estate. It's very lucky. The sun rules your house of good fortune. And it's possible some of you could win some money around that time. It's funny, I'm in a lottery draw for a hospital. And I think the draw is like May 7th to 9th. So this could also bring financial win your way, especially with the god of wealth in the house of windfalls, Pluto. So looking for some positive money opportunities or lucky breaks in some fundamental way coming at you, let's say Friday through Sunday at the end of this week. Now, we're just going to take a quick pause while Lori gets a banana or something to keep from fainting. Well, that was granola and yogurt, but it made the day so I can keep on keeping on. Well, let's talk about the next sign. The next sign is going to be Taurus, and how this week ahead will go for you and what I suggest you do with it. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. The energy here for you is to be pointed out right away that the sun is in your sign, as it usually is here every year, from the same time period, third week of April to the third week of May. And, you can always count on the sun in your sign to make you feel a little burnt out. Like, where the hell is that lamp that I can't turn off? The switch is too far away. It can be hard on the energy field of the body for the Taurus rising. For the sun, can really impact a lot of focus on your work and career, but maybe at the expense of any rest. And of course, for the Taurus moon, your home life might be like you got a bright light in the midnight hour. So there's a lot going on here, guys, for you with the sun energy, but it's not just the sun. It's interesting that this week ahead, the armor of the gods, Hephaistos, is in your sign. Now, where do you want to create something very powerful that could be almost like a beautiful object, like Hephaistos when he's not making weapons, right? He's making like crafting magical and beautiful things, like an artisan. So maybe your inner artisan wants to wake up this week, especially if your sun, moon, and rising is near 15 degrees. You're coming into a week where there is a square energy between Mars and Jupiter, both in very strong positions. And Mars is pushing Jupiter and wanting Jupiter to make a decision and choice with Mars. And technically, Mars could say, quit the addiction, end the bad habit, terminate the self-sabotage in my life. That's Mars up there against Chiron in the 12th house. And we can see Jupiter always wanting to comply and bring something good. There may be a golden opportunity connected to education, Jupiter, third house, online education or online community or online knowledge or online learning, in order for you to actually to make a decision to participate in a closure, ending, cutting, severing, to do with a self-defeating habit, pattern, or behavior. It doesn't have to be an addiction. It could be anything. I mean, there's so many things that are addictive. Netflix is addictive, for God's sakes. And, social media is addictive. So removing yourself from some kind of excess and getting things under control, not by determination like Saturnian, like white knuckle, but by simple, powerful mechanism of deciding Okay, so when we make a decision, we point our lives in a certain way. Like if you come to a fork in the road, you can't go left and right together. You have to choose left or right. So then we move our whole life in a new direction. That's Mars's function. So there's a very powerful decision-making archetype here for you coming through Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and it opens up beautiful opportunities. And should this decision be grabbed by the balls, so to speak, carpe diem and all of that, seize the day, then you're also going to be more prosperous, abundant, expansive in the third house. And that could be how you enjoy your neighbors, your neighborhood, your local environment. It could be how you prosper from your online social media landscape and more. So some of you might even think about this is a decision to move. I need to move my home to another city, another place, another country, another town. There's that there as well, but that will be a good decision, a positive one. And there's an urgency or a determination of focus here for you. Now, the same time that this is happening, Sunday through to Wednesday-ish, Mercury begins to uncover something. He's digging up some information that you need to get, something you need to know. So Mercury's in your sign. So your mind, your thoughts, your ideas, you in particular are unearthing something for yourself. And it's Plutonian, which is secrets or hidden things, can be about your father figures in your life, including your dad or your granddad. 10th house elements. It could be things to do with your purpose and career and power and wealth. Or there could be some news or information coming from a boss or superior at work, or you're disclosing something to them. So it could even be you're giving your what do you call it? Your quitting notice or something of your job or your purpose or your career. So there's a lot going on though, but you've got the decision making, you've got the communicating microphone in your hand. It's your ideas, it's your spoken or communicating email word, it's you communicating as well. And Pluto could be to somebody very rich, powerful, authoritative, but also, you might come to understand or have a secret, of your family of origin, dad figures revealed to you. Okay, anybody from the family of origin, and now you've got this information that you didn't have before, and you're pondering and digesting it in the beginning of this week. The week is going to finish beautiful and quite strong because the sun will be flowing to Jupiter through the weekend and into Monday. And that vibration is like, good vibrations, right? It wants you to accomplish or be available for some opportunity that we could just simply call golden. And because it is connected to Jupiter in the third house with the sun in your sign, it's very intimate and personal to you. You feel like you've just accomplished something. The sun is the ruler of your fourth house. So it could be an accomplishment connected to something you wish to achieve in and from your home. Jupiter can translate the golden opportunity to a windfall, a raise, a promotion, even a job offer. Okay. Based on where Venus is sitting. So you might be like really feeling good as you move through the end of next week because of a potential increase of money from your work or a job offer or golden opportunity. And also, funny enough, you may have a travel opportunity this weekend. And if you wish to travel, Friday through to Sunday, any place you go, likely domestic or close to home, it's going to bring something extra special to you, something that really lights you up and makes you feel the goodness of life, the beauty, the wisdom, the truth, and the goodness of life. So if you're taking any kind of weekend trip or getaway, even just a day trip or something, it's going to have something really luminous and special for you. So I'm just giving you that heads up. It could spark your creativity, your inner artist. It could ignite a kind of joy and love about your home life and the people with whom you live. And especially with the Mars Jupiter connection, it could also involve a really glowy time with a significant long-term love relationship partner, because that tension, like Sunday through Wednesday, Mars Jupiter, could be some tension with your significant other. All right. Some communications problems. But then on the weekend, Friday through Sunday, you and your significant long-term committed love partner, right? Like a marriage, you're going to feel better. Okay. Things are going to smooth out. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. Jupiter is squaring Mars as we begin this week. And that means that there's an urgency to make a decision, feeling this strongly Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Act, decide, choose, go for it. It's Mars in his kingdom in your house of the gains of one's career. This can be everything from celebrity to recognition to more money to awards and rewards. It's also the house of friends, groups of belonging. It's also the house of your long-range goals and dreams. Mars is trying to get you to choose or decide or take action amongst the decision making. When we decide something, we act on it, right? So you're going to take a decision moment here and you're going to act on it. It has to do with money because Jupiter is in your earnings house. This is where you actually just pocketbook, wallet, incoming resources. If we were back in the Middle Ages, it'd be incoming chickens and sheep, or maybe tokens, but you know what I'm saying. So how is it that you must make some monetary choices with some significant urgency and maybe structure coming up this week ahead? Now, to me, because of Jupiter's exaltation and because of Mars in his kingdom, it's better than it's not better, right? You could make a decision that's going to increase your wealth. So that's the good news. And it's just that you have to be aware that there's a choice point here. And there is a possibility, yes, you could have a difficult bit of a tension with a sibling one older or with somebody in your social community and friends about money, right? About money. But these are two planets in great strength. And so at the end of the day, it's probably going to work out just fine. When we move towards that uncovering of a secret that Mercury and Pluto are representing, Pluto has definitely got things hidden from view. He's in your 9th house. This can be about your spiritual philosophy, the purpose and meaning of life. It can be about book publishing deals where Pluto's sitting at higher level academics and foreign lands, travel, and foreign people. So Pluto up here is bringing foreign people your way who are powerful, rich, or complicated, because Pluto can be everything, right? From sociopathology to psychopathology to narcissistic energy. So we got a Pluto in the 9th house, and you have to consider what that is. And all of a sudden, Mercury is like underneath the surface. Let's dig it up. And these two houses, 12 and 9, are foreign places. So people in distant shores and far off lands and brutal communication, difficult communication, information or news that is unsavory or you're being revealed to you about somebody in a far off land, not local to you. Now, the other energy could be backroom deals and negotiations are emerging for powerful contracts and agreements in the realm of publishing and writing. That's another opportunity vibe that could go on here. That's because Sun rules your writing house, right? And it's with Mercury, and Pluto's in the publishing house. And so this would be kind of like behind the scenes. There's a lot of negotiating or contract making or discussion about that. If you're looking for an agent, for example, this could be an agent from a far off land, but Pluto does have secrets and Mars is the guy with the information. So secrets about a sibling 2 older than you that you didn't know, or 4 younger, emerging from the dark into the light of a Taurus sun. You might have some dreams because the temple of Asclepius and the dreaming temples are the 9th house. And you will see the 12th house to be one of the dream houses and meditation houses. And so inner reverie and nocturnal dreams are going to reveal to you something important that you need to understand or see. Write your dream journals, keep your dream journal handy, put your phone near your bed so you can voice record when you wake up. Some profound, life-changing, powerful dreams may be emerging for you Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay? All right, then we're going to finish strong as we move through Friday to the weekend, as we have a beautiful flow between the Sun in Taurus and Jupiter. Golden opportunities, lucky breaks, positive developments. Sun is the ruler of your 3rd house. Let me give you some ideas. First of all, the Sun is in a distant land and foreign place or far offshore, and Jupiter's in a money house. But because we make money modern day from international revenue, borderless income, PayPal, Stripe, digital payment processors, on and on. If you make money that way, this is a golden financial window of time for you in that regard. Okay, so Friday through to Monday. The other thing is that possibly because the Sun is ruler of short distance travel, there's an opportunity to travel. And if you're going to take a trip or journey, which you could, and it may emerge for this weekend, you don't have to take it on the weekend, but you might know the opportunity is there on the weekend and then make decisions, yes or no, to take that journey. But because it has got such a beautiful flow to Jupiter, journeys that you take can be very positive, and especially if you need alone time, like solitude. This is a great window for going away alone or knowing of an opportunity to do that alone, and seizing the day if you can, because that journey will be very good for your soul. It's also really good for potentially something to do with a golden opportunity connected to the online and social media sphere. And the sun exalts your 11th house. So it can be getting invited to be on someone's podcast or a show that you always wanted to be on, or something that you put into your own social media landscape, doing really well and bringing great success to you. And that will be very available to you Friday through to, let's say, Monday of this weekend coming. So enjoy that ride. It should be, I think, pretty interesting. Sometimes I sound like Minnow Pond, and sometimes I sound like Candace Owens. All right. What the heck? I hear my voice and go, what happened to me? All right. Moving on to Cancer, sun, moon, and rising sign. All right, Cancer. It looks to me like you've got the energy of such profound Jupiter blessings right now, because not only is he direct, but he's out of that direct square to Saturn. And this is the best you're going to get from him. I mentioned this to you before. So basically the months of April, May, and June, especially May and June, are like the last golden glow of a 12-year story. So get your juice going when you can get it. Sip the nectar of the divine god of Jupiter and take some of your blessings and count them. You know, it can make you more rich, more prosperous, more lucky, more successful, more pregnant, or more chubby, or more muscular. He makes everything bigger in the sign of your body, Cancer bodies, Cancer ascendant. But for the rest of you, Cancer sun, career glow up, Cancer moon, home and home life glow up, etc. Okay, so with the backdrop of that, Jupiter is in a square formation to Mars. Feeling it Sunday, going through to Wednesday, epicenter Monday, Tuesday, major life changes, decisions, and action points in your career connected to your own abundance, your own vitality, health, your own prosperity, and your own wellness, and your own feeling good and magnanimous about stuff. There is some kind of pressure because of the square angular to you, like it's really kicking ass. And it may be about money because, you know, hey, there's a possibility here that we'll get to that, but that your gains of your career are needing a readjustment. Maybe you're going to need to push or shove for more money, a raise, a promotion, or something, another kind of perk, or even cutting away some of the work roles that you take. Like if you consider the work roles you're doing onerous or too much, you know, because you want to be bounteous, healthy, abundant, and lucky. And, you know, you can only work so hard. Saturn up there means you might be working too hard and have been working too hard for a while now, since April the 9th. And you can still work too hard until May the 18th. So there could be a critical turning point this weekend around adjusting for that. Sorry, not this weekend. Sunday behind us into Wednesday. Someone could leave the job setting in the corporate environment or whatever, the company, and because they quit, you get to move up. So there's a positive thing. Urgency and decisions are the key words here for you. And then we move into the Mercury disclosure. You know, Mercury wants to dig under the surface, whatever dirt is hidden in the house of hidden dirt. Yes, Pluto is in shame, betrayal, infidelities, dark secrets, hidden variables, the unknown, the occult. Pluto's here. Mercury says, let me get a dig up. Let's see what's under the surface with my Taurus shovel. Well, what's under the surface? It could be unknown hidden variables connected to a sibling one older. Could be unknown hidden variables connected to your family of origin, friendship circles, and even your marriage partnerships. So it's just kind of like if a secret's going to be spilled, the spiller is likely a sibling one older or a friend, right? Because these 11th house people are speaking. There could be some uncovering of some situation revolving taxes and tax situations and the livelihood you do. And you might be seeing or being revealed or uncovering a tax strategy, or unfortunately a tax problem. So that's a possibility as well. And Mercury in the 11th house of good spirit, which is a good house, right? Accompanied by the sun here as well. You might have some kind of deeper investigation of your motives and your desires for what it is you wish to accomplish in life. Like there could be an inventory or inner looking at your longer range goals, plans, and dreams through the lens of what's hidden from view from your very own self. Like, you know, you got to look closer under the microscope to see what it is you're really looking for in your own life, right? Sometimes we get caught up in this kind of chart, being prosperous and making money, getting, recognized. But, you know, Pluto here can be saying, like, what do you really believe about your long range goals and dreams and your worth and your finances? Because the sun is a ruler of your income and is sitting with Mercury. So there's kind of a inner working through the shadows around your money stuff for a lot of Cancers as you approach the weekend, Sunday behind us into Wednesday ahead of us. All right, then we have a happy glow as we approach the weekend coming with the sun trining. The sun and Jupiter in a sextile formation. The sun is saying, I am high and mighty in the sky in a house of good spirit, full of positive energy. And Jupiter says, I am mighty and high in my exalted throne of Mount Olympus. And the two planets are like really well placed, and they're bringing positive, lucky breaks to you that might feel like a windfall or cliche, pennies from heaven, or just some kind of financial flourish where money connected to your career or abundance connected to your career bring you a huge amount of gratitude. You might have a performance review, bonus check, you might get a raise or promotion, or you're just taking inventory of how grateful you are for what I'm going to call financial success connected to your career. Right, because the sun is a ruler of your income and is blowing beautiful kisses at Lord Jupiter in your sign. And favors from people in high places, friends and allies can bring you more financial success coming through Friday of this week ahead into Sunday, even Monday next week. And then we have Leo, sun, moon, and rising. You are the solar beast ruled by the sun. The sun is your guy. Let's talk about the beginning of the week. Mars in home kingdom squares Jupiter exalted. What is this decision that must be made? What is needing to make? You have to make executive decision-making, action-taking plans here. Power to do so is in the 9th house. You might be listening to a guide, a mentor, an advisor, someone who gives you, wisdom, like your coach or your therapist about something that you need to decide. And you might actually act on the advice you're given. This is also, you could be consulting an astrologer and acting on their advice. Mars likes to decide, so he can take the path A or B, can't take both at the same time. And you want to make a major decision up here. It could actually involve your professional life. Okay. We'll get to that in a minute. But whatever this decision is, it's like, there's a lot of 9th houses, headhunters or human resources or administrative departments and companies. And so you might be job hunting. It's like Mars, April 9th to May 18th is kind of in the ramp to the workout. So he could be scouting out or looking for new work. And he's squaring Jupiter in backroom deals and negotiations. So it could be like a stealthy job hunt, right? People in distant shores and far off places can bring you lucrative opportunities for your career. And you also might be making decisions regarding travel to distant shores and foreign lands or academic settings, which university you wish to attend or which university you want to graduate from, that kind of thing. And Jupiter could also be like, okay, I want you guys to be like deeper, introspective. Ashram wisdom is here for you. Jupiter is powerfully placed in your 12th. And Mars is like gallivanting in the foreign places. So there's a good chance that some of you might come into an opportunity to book yourself into a retreat or a spiritual setting or a far off place where you can spend some time alone in kind of a spiritual recovery mode for some reason, or just travel to another country and distant shore and land in connection with your in-laws, in connection with your family of origin, mom and dad, and that kind of travel may show up for you as well. As we move forward into the weekend, we're going to notice that Friday through to Sunday, even into Monday, there's a golden, beautiful glow as the sun in Taurus in your 10th house of career is going to, I back it up. I forgot Mercury. Mercury is digging up dirt. Yeah, he is. Okay. It's pretty exact on Tuesday, but you'll feel it, let's say Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. What's Mercury digging up? Information or dirt or news about your spouse or significant long-term committed love partner and their secrets, or something connected to your career and legal contracts, something connected to your work. And it can be the power of binding contracts under the sky, right? Where you have to look more closely, Pluto sextiles Saturn here. You have to look more closely at what possible legalese are in the fine print of some contract that connects to your work and career, and whether or not you are capable of changing it, something like that. Now, Mercury here is news and information, but he's in your career space. So you're getting that kind of information as well. And it may be about money and finances because Mercury does rule the earnings house and Pluto is wealth. If you were looking for a job and you were applying for different positions, then this can actually be good This could even be a position that opens up a new level of wealth for you. So that could be something to consider here. All right. But squares demand action and decisions immediately. And this would be a flurry of communications in order for that to be effective. As we move towards the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday coming up, then you're going to notice that things start to feel really good. The sun is shining in your career space. You are shining in your career space, and you're flowing beautifully to Jupiter, which can bring financial compensation, especially if you work for a foreign company, a foreign country, in a foreign country. You work from someone who lives far from where you live. If your money is derived in the social media online landscape or through digital income, all of that stuff, there's this beautiful glow here. There's just something really nice. You're going Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I feel so good about it all. My money feels good. I feel good. My career feels good. Jupiter, you get word from the backroom deals and negotiations that you're the top choice for the job. What a golden opportunity. It's going to bring you some more money, I bet. A nice sign-on bonus, or it's just some feeling good about money, especially if you're in job hunt mode, Leos. There's a possibility too with the sun in your 10th house that a father figure, authority figure disposes money or goodness or promotions or positivity at you Friday through to Monday of next week. Enjoy the week ahead. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. Virgo, first of all, the beginning of the week is kind of like a very intense moment for you. You're going to feel it Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because where Mars is sitting when he comes into a square to Jupiter is in a house that is very much about your inner psychological and spiritual landscape. Unless it's a clash with somebody about money and career gains and shared resources with a spouse or in-law money, then it's likely to be you going in and then making a decision for greater prosperity in those conditions. Then you're in an inner space here, especially with the stellium still here, Chiron, Mars, Saturn, and Neptune. Like, goodness gracious. The 12th house and the 4th house and the 8th house take us to ancestral patterns and karmic patterns, but also to the ability to shear, cut, and sever those, sometimes including addictions. So sometimes, just like Mars can in Leo, for you, Mars in Aries can also have a kind of determined slicing and cutting of karmic and ancestral cords and patterns that no longer work. And in this case, if you were to do that, it's going to increase your prosperity, your abundance, your joy, your enthusiasm for the gains of your career and the way you make money professionally. All right. And it could also increase your social groups and friendship circles to more lively, enthusiastic, generous, magnanimous people that are more in alignment with your own values. And so there's something good that's trying to happen here, to say the very least. And Jupiter, as he received that square from Mars, is trying to work with Mars. And, Jupiter rules your marriage house and contractual agreements house. So you could be making some major contractual agreements coming up to do with money, to do with in-laws, to do with job opportunities, and to do with marriage partnerships. Now, we're going to notice that Mercury digging up the secretive hidden realms with his Taurus shovel in your 9th house, revealing what Pluto's got covered up in your 6th. There can be things to do with work, your job environment, and power and wealth, and Mercury, information and news. Mercury's in your classic human resources, headhunting kind of place, right? So if you're looking for work and you're looking to discover a new opportunity, and Mercury might be finding the listing online that you're going to want to apply for, right? Or Mercury could be finding the inbox email that you got a second interview, or Mercury could be even, but whatever he's doing up there, he's digging below Pluto's hood. So looking under the surface at some potentially professional career objective or opportunity. Mercury also rules your 10th house of career, where Venus is bringing you great luck. She's going to be here for a bit of time, guys. Lucky breaks in your career, including raises and promotions. My Virgo rising daughter just got a massive increase in her salary for her performance in the year review and fiscal year review. And she can't believe she got that. They only give you the smallest amount at this company, and they went well beyond it to reward her. So Venus has been rewarding you professionally with advances and perks and stuff like that, starting when she got into the sign of Gemini, April 24th, and doesn't leave to May 18th. And what I'm trying to point to is that luck is still here. So if you're looking for new jobs or you want to succeed at a better capacity of success in your current job, that's here for you. And Mercury, as the ruler of what Venus is up to, he's in the back room sort of a bit, the ninth house. As I said, headhunters, human resources, job listings, things like that. So if you're looking for a job, I think you're probably got a good chance. Something's going on here. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It could just be putting your application in. Doesn't mean the job is here because you discovered, unveiled, and researched and found a job opportunity that's worthy of your amazingness. All right. Don't hire a Virgo if you don't want them to overwork, drive themselves to the bone to get the job done and be perfectionistic at it. Okay. That's the Virgos. I'm surrounded by them. And gosh, they make great workers if you're ever, work with or have to work for one of them. Alrighty, let's go on and move away from that story. We're talking now about the glowy weekend ahead. It's going to start, rising up as a tender tendril of lovely opportunity that feels golden Friday, Saturday, Sunday into Monday. And that is the golden tendrils of whatever the sun is trying to give you in relationship to Jupiter. This looks very professional to me. It could be an opportunity to travel to a distant shore or far off land with a group of people or a friend, sure. But it can also look like the gains of your career get more luscious as the sun flows to your career story with lucky Venus here. Something good is trying to happen in your reputation and career story. And it's all by the measure of your own standards. For someone, it could be a massive raise or promotion. For somebody, it could just be getting the corner office. For somebody, it could be getting permission to work from home. But however you want your career to feel good and be grateful for it. And it's a little bit of that, sun in the ninth. It's kind of like the runway before takeoff. So there may be with Mercury negotiations and conversations about those perks and rewards and gains of your career that are becoming visibly available to you. Doesn't mean you have to change your career. So Friday through to Monday, guys, go for it. Yes. I think it looks good on you. And so enjoy the golden glow. I know otherwise long distance travel or long distance foreign travel with friends, groups of friends, or with a spouse. Okay. That could be you're taking the trip or planning the trip. All of those are possible. And that's coming up this weekend ahead. Hey there, Libra, sun, moon, and rising. I've come to the conclusion that my chocolate break around your sign is always coming to my mind, but I already had granola, so we're good to go. I think that you're going to say this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you might feel some grit Sunday, something like, holy shit, my partner's driving me crazy. My main squeeze is like a biatch or an asshole, excuse my language. It's just tension there. Saturn, Mars combinations, two malefics in the house of a significant other. Quite possibly your significant other's trying to break away from an addiction, bad habit, or self-defeating pattern. That's a Saturn-Neptune conjunction. And they've been wounded and they're trying to clear the wound. You might have something to do with frustration with them, or they're frustrated with you. So look for that tension and let it go. It will pass. Mars has been in the house of your significant other from April 9th and leaves May 18th. This means that there's a potential for searing clashes, separations, disagreements of magnitude. On the other hand, it could just mean you're going to spend time apart geographically. But whatever this is, I'm giving you a warning because I'm a nice astrologer, because it looks like to me Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, Mars is squaring Jupiter. And this is about tension with somebody else. Now, quite possibly you might want to quit a job because you got a better opportunity, because Jupiter is in the house of your work and career and visible reputation, and Mars is in the house of contractual agreements that you bind yourself to. And yeah, you might cut end and sever. You're going to maybe face something like, Sunday through Monday, Tuesday. You could even feel it Saturday behind us. You might be saying, hey, I need to take a jump out of this. I need to take a leap of faith. And that's leap of faith is very Mars, Jupiter. I need to take a leap of faith. You know what? I should have called this a leap of faith video, because there is a leap of faith here. I need to take a leap of faith and make a decision that's going to work for me. I think I'm going to call this video Take a Leap of Faith. And you're cornered a bit, like you're under a pressure cooker, but you got to make that decision and it's coming for you anyway. So you're going to go for it. Your significant other, though, is also going through something too, because the Mars in the house of the significant other is your significant other. And they're facing a turning point decision as well. It could be anything. It could be about their professional ambitions as well. They may feel like they've fallen in their profession, like they maybe don't like what they're doing, and they're faced with turning point decisions as well this week ahead. Should you survive this week ahead with your significant other? I definitely see you looking like you're having pivotal turning points in work, job, and career. And it's the actions, decisions, cutting and severing that happens here that allows you to make the shift. Yeah, Jupiter rules your house of work. You may even be separated from your significant other because you have to travel for work early this week as well. Now, as we move into the next story, which is the unearthing of some dirt by Mercury, Mercury is kind of like, okay, we got dirt to uncover. Anytime I'm with Pluto, I'm looking X-ray vision at what's underneath the surface. And Mercury is in a house of things that we don't ever see. It's full of that secrets, infidelities, betrayals, hidden things, darker stories, death and rebirth. And he's squaring Pluto in the house of sexual and romantic love. The good news is it could be a deeper intimacy through discussions about romance and sexuality with somebody as early as, you'd be feeling the energy maybe as early as the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and really building to a sort of climactic conversation by Tuesday. So you can be unearthing stuff about sexuality, sexual desire, sexual compulsion, sexual preferences with a person in your life. However, secrets can be revealed from and about your children or from your romantic life, past, present, and future here. If you're entrepreneurial, you could be digging up some information about taxes and structures and finances and money and entrepreneurial business ideas or partnerships as well. When we look at the story that comes through from the end of the week, Sun is with Jupiter in a golden flow called a sextile, very friendly and fun and good between the career energies and the money that you have back here. Now, the back here money, it's not like your daily paycheck. I don't know. It can be a royalty check, a Google AdSense monies, an investment in a stock, money from your in-laws, money from your investments with stocks. I say stocks. But it's still, if it's connected to the 10th house, it could also be financial golden opportunities connected to career. Sometimes when we look for a job, we get like a performance sign-on bonus, like a headhunting bonus. Sometimes we quit a job and we get a severance package. Sometimes we get money because we've been performing well, a chunk of money connected to our amazing success that we're displaying to the world in our career, bonus money. So there's something like coming at you, a bit of chunky money may appear. And the sun is the ruling planet of your house of great gains from your career, including the idea of a feeling of windfalls or those pennies that fall from heaven. And so ultimately, therefore, I think you're going to have a financial glow coming through the sky as we approach the end of this week, Friday into the weekend. So look at the end of this week into the weekend for this financial glow up here. And possibly you'll even feel it as far forward as Monday. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. The first thing you're going to say as this week starts out and feels a little bit gritty for the world and you too is, what am I going to do with this work situation? Because Mars in the house of work and the house of his joy, right? Really good there. He's strong here, but he's squaring opportunity, gold, and Jupiter in your 9th house. So what decisions and actions about work do you need to make? It may involve the human resources department, administrative levels of the place you work. It may involve things to do with work and passports, foreign lands and shores opportunities. It may have to do with work and educational, professional opportunities. It may have to do with work and alignment with your deeper, truer calling and purpose. So, and making a decision and following through on it and heeding the call, you know what I mean? And seizing the day. Jupiter's in a positive and lucky house. He's flowing to your sign. So it will feel good to you. And because you are, resourced by Mars. He's the ruler of your sign and he's in a house of his joy. I think that there's nothing to say about this other than roll with the leap of faith or the opportunity that's emerging for you. Hang on, I need my mouse stuff. And I don't think that you have a stress point as much as you could because Jupiter isn't a flowing trine to you, and Mars is your ruler. Some of you might quit your work because there's a better opportunity on the horizon. Some of you make major decisions about going back to school or higher education. Some of you might make major choices around work and travel. But whatever it is, it's going to serve you. If you have any health challenges, I'm going to say go see an advisor, guide, mentor, or expert authority in the area of your health challenge. That would be what Mars and Jupiter would do in this condition. You're looking for the head honcho, the head of cardiology, the super expert in a certain area. Get that second opinion. Health challenges require exalted experts for releasing them from your life at this time. Again, we're talking about the beginning of this week. Now, there's digging up dirt. Right here, Mercury says, we got some dirt to dig, information to dig, news to give, home, land, property, family of origin, parents, childhood, secrets, wealth. Trining Venus, Uranus, it could be an inheritance is suddenly showing up in your life. But at the same time, Mercury has to reveal something. And this is usually where we make contractual agreements, whether they're marriage contracts or business contracts. So there's a digging under the surface of something connected to potential contractual agreements. Digging under the surface as well, in terms of things to do with your significant other revealing to you information or news that you weren't privy to. Perhaps it was buried under the surface. And so disclosures in long-term love may occur here as well. All said and done, though, Mercury is here with Pluto as the ruling planet of a couple of positive places in your chart, and most particularly the house of that chunky money or inheritances. So it could be you're dealing with some kind of legal financial stuff and disclosures and uncovering of money from family of origin and inheritance matters. Anytime you have Uranus and Venus together, you're going to have a surprise, but it's a surprise about money. The only other thing is a surprise from your long-term marriage partner about a secret they've kept from you, buried underneath the house. Like, oh, honey, yes, I had an affair, but I love you. I don't know, guys. You let me know what that is, would you? At the end of the week, coming Friday, Saturday, Sunday, into Monday, there's a golden, beautiful flow between Jupiter and the sun. This is good news in some way. There's Mercury, the news that your partner in long-term love wants to give to you about children or grandchildren. And so good news about children or grandchildren may emerge for you on the weekend. And you could also feel that this is good news or information about colleges, academics, universities, and book publishing deals. Okay. And this is your golden little sweetheart deal of some kind. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Look for the goodness that's showing up as a kind of glowy golden opportunity for you, likely professional, for the sun does rule your 10th house. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. The energy here as we start the week, a little like leap of faith, do or die, seize the day, pressure cooker, starts off for you with the idea that Jupiter is having a square relationship to Mars. And because Jupiter's in a house that normally involves like banking, loans, finances, spousal monies, in-law money, money that you don't earn directly and share with others, that Jupiter energy is in engaging a massive turning point decision-making moment. Now, because your children belong to the 5th house, it may be about your kids and their money, or kids and your money and children, and turning point actions and decisions. At the same time, with Mars in your 5th house, there may be some decisions you want to make regarding creative and entrepreneurial projects and directions connected to money that you share with others. In this case, family of origin. Jupiter rules the 4th house of your parents growing up, family, your childhood. So legacy wealth. So major decisions coming through regarding legacy wealth. It also may involve siblings, particularly any sibling actually under the sky, but it could be focused more specifically on a sibling too younger than you. Or siblings, too younger than you, but siblings in general get activated. Siblings and family money, siblings and inheritance, siblings and legacy wealth, in-laws and finances and money as well. And a decision needs to be made. And this could also involve money from the sale of a property, and action and decision that must be made immediately. All right, now we move into the undigging, unearthing square between Mercury and Pluto to reveal what is hidden from your view. And we're on Tuesday. Let's go back by a day. It's pretty exact on Monday. And because it's Monday, Tuesday, because the square is existing here, there can be some news or information from a sibling. And it may involve debts and indebtedness, literal, karmic, or whatever. So debts and siblings and information and news are also embedded in the first few days of this week. Mercury here could also be pointing you towards a job opportunity, but you have to dig under the surface to really look at it more closely and look specifically at the fine print and look specifically at the obligations and responsibilities that may be hidden from view that you're not seeing yet because you haven't asked the right questions. It's one thing to get a golden job opportunity, that Saturn, Pluto sextile. Other thing to realize when you take it, you're going to have to travel for 3/4 of the month. You're going to look underneath the surface and get those details unearthed for your safety here. You could just have some bad news about a sibling's health as well, okay? Or some difficult news coming through this week about a sibling's health. Watch out for your pets. Don't let them roam the streets. This could be news that your pet was hit by a car or ran away, got lost in the woods, okay? Don't like that for you. Keep your pets close Sunday through to Tuesday. Now, when we get away from that story and we look at the golden glow of Jupiter and the sun coming through the sky, you'll start to feel it on the weekend, like Friday through to even Monday. The sun is giving a huge amount of light right now to your health, as well as your work, as well as your pets, as well as your debts and debt situations. And that light that's shining here flows to Jupiter. And Jupiter is like at the top of the sky, getting up to the heights of the sky, climbing to the high noon. And he's like, I am exalted in your money house. Do you want to really work the money story and eliminate your debt? This is great for refinancing credit card debt, getting a loan, an investment loan, financing a home property sale. This is really good energy for money and debt and an indebtedness. Now, debt can be just because you're leveraging money. We go into debt when we get a mortgage. So this is going to be golden glow around money, debts, mortgages, banking, finances, and all of that stuff. And if that's nothing to do with you, then some really good situations to do with money and your career. Mercury rules your 10th house, and chunks of money, right? Like performance reviews or commission checks or sign-on bonuses, and some good news there. Depends on what kind of livelihood you have, right? So there's a money story that might want to emerge for you that looks quite positive, actually. And so counter blessings this Friday through to the next Monday. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. It's really interesting time for you, as it is for all of us. Number one, there's grit and crunchy grit. You're walking on broken glass. Mars is in your 4th house. Now, unless you're hammering and constructing and tearing down a house or some shit like that, which is Mars, or you have people doing that in your home, Mars can bring conflict in your home. And he's been here since April 9th and will be to May 18th. Sometimes it just means that you want to travel from home, leave the home, exit the home. But there's that intensity around the home where you might feel bound or limited or stuck. And Saturn. And you're looking at this opportunity that looks like a beautiful one. And it's not coming from you. It's coming from someone else. It could be a sibling, 3 younger or 3 older. It could be a long-term committed monogamous partnership person. And then there's opportunity there for you. It's exalted opportunity. Jupiter wants to bring exalted opportunity regarding home. Could be an exalted opportunity to move your home, buy your home, sell a home, agree to purchase a home. I don't know. Yeah, things are happening. But you have to take an action and make a decision and seize the old day. If you don't seize the day, no one will do it for you, right? So there's like momentum for choosing regarding home with lucky breaks coming in. And because Jupiter rules the house of your neighbors and neighborhood and cities and all of that, there might be just an opportunity to move your home to a new town, a new city, a new community as well. That's going to be more your cup of tea. And if that opportunity emerges, it has a glowy vibe about it. Very fortunate opportunity, Yeah, especially for rental properties in this chart with Venus in the 6th house. So rather than purchasing, it looks more golden for a rental property opportunity. If you can seize the day, you know what I mean? It might even come unexpectedly. You weren't even looking for a rental property to live in or something like that. And all of a sudden there's this golden rental property opportunity and you're going, oh my God, that's like everything I've ever wanted. If you're not looking to change your home, golden opportunity to rent your home out to some other people or room in your home because you're traveling, things like that. Golden opportunity to secure perhaps a new pet as well coming up for you. Now, Pluto's secretive stuff or hidden stuff. He's in your money house, your second house of pocketbook, wallets, earnings. Sometimes he brings great wealth here. He's a god of wealth. So a god of wealth, great wealth in a money house, right? Second house. Early this week, Sunday through to Tuesday, Wednesday, Mercury's digging up some dirt here. He's like, we got to shovel it up and see what's underneath the fifth house, second house axis. Could be some secretive stories about money and your children, money and lovers, money and a sibling too younger, money and a sibling, well, I'm hot, 4 older, money and things to do with your, well, if I was trying to make something positive of it, I'd say you could win money connected to a lottery, because Mercury is the ballot in the house of lottery wins. Let's open some windows here. But it's a stretch because squares usually feel stressful. And I don't see how a lottery feels stressful. But we'll see an unexpected opportunity financially to pay off or pay down a debt if you have debt. Whew. All right, next. Vancouver's having a heat wave summer, and it's still April / into May. And it's ungodly hot. Thank God I'm moving to a place with an AC. All right, let's go ahead and say, let's leave that story behind. Kids and money, children and secrets coming your way, courtesy of the first few days of the month. Children having children, revelations of hidden mysteries to do with pending grandchildren. Maybe they're 8 months pregnant and didn't tell you. Things like that. Okay, then we move past that story, Cappies, and we move into the sun trining Jupiter, which is beautiful, flowing, golden glow opportunity coming your way. Exalted Jupiter can only bring this kind of opportunity, for goodness sakes, once every 12 years. So Jupiter is exalted. He's in your 7th house of significant long-term love and business partnerships, audience and marketplace. He is flowing to the sun in the house of good fortune. So maybe I will give you a lottery ticket win, but it may not be yours. It may be your significant other wins money. A partner, a love partner, significant committed partner wins some money, because it's really Jupiter in the house of the other. So they hit the jackpot. They hit the good fortune of some kind. They have the windfalls and pennies from heaven, but you're participating because you're partnered, right? Yes, and it could involve in-law money. So they're getting money from the in-laws, inheritance money, so stuff like that. So money connected to your significant partner benefiting you in that manner. Coming through the sky this Friday through to Monday next week. I don't think this is a hot flash. I think it's the room. I'm past hot flashes, guys. I stopped my period, like, not that you care, but 13 years ago. All right. All right. So if you're an Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising, what do we got for you? Please listen to the intros of most of my videos where I describe what the difference between those three are. I need to do a one-time insert where I've got it already to be inserted into every video. So we begin the week with some seize the day, leap of faith, gritty tension, must act. Time to choose. What are you going to choose? Well, you got to make a decision connected to your 6th house. That's your employment structures, your job, your work, your daily work habits, your health. It's also employees if you have them. Mars, decision, act, decide, take action, leap of faith or severing. I don't know. It's going to be both or either. You've got like to know what direction to go. A, B, C, like which road are you going to travel? So you're making decisions regarding those themes, because if you work in the online industry or you teach, write, market, sell, those are 3rd house activities. There's major choice decisions and actions you're making here, as well as we move into the first week of the month. Now, those decisions and actions have blessings from Jupiter exalted, and Mars is in dignity. So there's something good trying to happen. It may be a leap of faith or maybe a leap of discernment because of Saturn's placement. So you're going to choose something important. And so really deeply lean in to what Saturn suggests. He's the Lord of your sign in the 3rd house. He'll give you clues as to the right answer. Saturn's conservative, cautious, steady, and careful. Nothing is supposed to happen in giant, irrational leaps of exuberance. So lean into the lean one, Saturn, in your 3rd house, your Lord of your sign, and not Aquarius. You're not a Uranus. You're your Saturn. Trust me. And you'll get the discernment too, as well. So when would you need this discernment exactly? That's the other thing. You're going to feel it building up. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. This is when you're going to have to choose. It may have to make the major decisions around rental properties, pets, or travel. For example, you could just be walking down the street and you walk by a pet store and there's your perfect pet that you've always wanted, but you had no plans to get a pet. But Jupiter wants a litter of pets right now for you. And Mars says, make a decision already. Do you want to commercially transact, market or sell, buy a pet? Possibly you do. Jupiter, in fact, is about money. He rules your income and resources. So money for rentals, pets, or financial things to job and employment, and decisions are coming up, and employers and employees. Now, the next thing you have to take account of is the secrets that Mercury wants to dig from underneath the surface, the secrety surface of Pluto. Pluto isn't a bad guy. Pluto just keeps, things close to the vest, or whatever that expression is, right? Right. You got to go looking for it with your X-ray machine. So Pluto's in your sign, and you are the one who has the depths of that which is mysterious and powerful and hidden, and all of that. You are that. And you're carrying that Pluto power for the world right now until 2044, especially with Pluto out of bounds every fall. You are rule breaking your own rules. You're busting out of the normative. You're a revolutionary. But as you do all of that, you're going to say to yourself, Mercury, you'll feel it like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, wants to know something. Information is good, ideas, communication from the fourth house. Now, this could be to do with childhood, family of origin, parents, siblings, even because you grew up in the same house with them, those people you grew up with, and information or disclosures or news or discovery coming up soon to a theater near you. It could have to do with inheritances and legacy wealth. Mercury rules your 8th house. It'd be kind of cool, but you could even discover a buried treasure, you know what I mean, underneath the family of origin, like money that was there all along, maybe money that was available from your ancestral line that you didn't know was there. You can also uncover dark secrets from your family of origin. It's kind of funny because someone just sent me something about the Earl of Bothwell, and I'm a descendant of his, and it's a dark story about the Earl of Bothwell. And I'm like, that just came through today, and Mercury's not even. This is April 30th, fully engaged in the excavation. So there's that. Your genealogical ancestral line, darker secrets revealed, maybe coming through early in this week ahead. I like the idea here, potentially though, of also revealing something to do with land, property, and real estate. And you could also be coming into some prosperity or wealth connected to good fortune, like winning money. That's because Mercury rules Venus in your 5th house of good fortune and winning money. And that could just be the revelation, the news that the wealth has arrived on your doorstep, broad trine, Pluto, Venus, surprise and shock that you are some kind of winner. Now, one thing to say about this is that if you ever had to inquire, particularly about your father's lineage, the sun in the 4th house, and you don't know everything you need to know about that, just because we're going to end up on Wednesday, with a moon trining the sun from Capricorn, I'm going to ask you to dig deep under the patrilineal lineage of your family. It's most particularly activated here. And there's things of that line that you will uncover or understand that will really help you move forward in life. Now we're going to move forward and we're going to talk about the next story. And the next story is what happens when we get to the positive flowing glow. It's coming up this weekend. You'll start to feel it maybe on Friday through to even next Monday, of the sun and Jupiter forming a beautiful flow called a sextile. And Jupiter, he's got something for you in the 6th house, like a little goodness. And that can be about your work or your health or pets or rental properties or debts. And the sun is in the house of home and property and land. Now, this was like a golden rental property opportunity, for example, or golden good news regarding property and rentals, or golden good news around tenancy agreements, or golden good news around pets and securing pets, or golden positive lucky opportunities connected to improvements in your health, especially good news about your health, connected to maybe things that worry you about your health, connected to your ancestral line, like, problems that run through the family, and you're suddenly glowing because you're okay. You don't have the gene or something. Beautiful flowing positive opportunity connected to financing regarding property. And that could include financing for purchases or sales. Okay. So there's a nice vibe here. I think you're going to like the feeling of that that's coming through as we move into next week, and just enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. And just so you know, because I'm over here, right? This really will start to be felt Friday. So you're going to lean into the weekend feeling this beautiful sense of hopefully some enjoyment and gratitude about whatever good is trying to happen. Finally, we have you guys. You are the Pisces sun, moon, and rising sign with a bit of a seize the day pressure cooker starting out the week. One thing about this, I'm sorry I'm so wiggly, guys. When I moved to my new place, I got an office. I'm going to set it up and it's never going to change. I want all my recording equipment on one table. I'm never going to change because then it's easier, but I never can find a spot that I'm comfortable to record here. So, woo, poor me. All right, Pisces sun, moon, and rising. As we begin the week, seize the day or choose wisely about your money. Mars is in the money, earnings, and resources. You might have been spending a bit more than you want, but this can be a choice or decision around money and a child, okay, or money and a sibling too younger. And you've got to make a choice and you got to decide wisely because Saturn wants wisdom, sage-like quality. Mars's money decisions are on the table for you. Start to feel this on Sunday. It dribbles into almost as late as Wednesday. Some of these things to do with your children and money, right? Which it could very well be under this if you have adult children and they have some financial struggles. Be contained and think about it from a kind of Saturnian mindset, which is like Spock and Star Trek. If you need to make money decisions around your children, take a few deep breaths and ask for wisdom before you leap into the fray, into the breach, you know? And I would advise that. That's my advice to you. And because Jupiter is the Lord of your sign, which is great, but still choose wisely. Now, you could have some financial lucky breaks in the house of good fortune. And now you need to make some decisions about them. Like, what are you going to do with your good fortune, right? Why not? What do you want to buy? What luscious, exalted, precious object that brings you joy do you want to buy, for example? Or it could be a travel opportunity and decisions about whether or not to book the tickets. But you got to make a decision, basically. Go for it one way or another, says Blondie. Now, when we move into what Mercury wants to uncover and dig up, and I can see foreign land travel decisions here for you, okay, coming up this week ahead. Choose wisely. When I look at Mercury digging up some dirt, well, he's in the house of siblings. So some dirt about siblings, from siblings, news about and from siblings. Pluto in the house of past lives. Pluto in the house of hospitals. Maybe a sibling going to have a health challenge, end up in a hospital this week, early next week. This is more likely to involve probably information disclosures or news from a sibling one younger than you. And this energy is like, if it's about a sibling, the sun's shining light on the sibling's house, right? Can be cousins as well, extended family and family secrets. With Pluto in the 12th, there is stuff to do with not just your family, like your siblings, but also to do with the kind of karmatic relationships you have with them. And so some of the reveals might be subtle and psychological, and some of them might be like the email or the phone call that you got that disclosed something that you didn't know. Your Mercury rules your house of your spouse. So I'm going to also translate that to spousal stories as well. So secrets also to do with spouse or siblings, also 3 older or 3 younger, and spouse. And I say secrets because of Pluto. What is spouse hidden from you that you couldn't see clearly that now is being divulged so that you can? Given what's going on with Mars, there's a lot going on at once here requiring money decisions. And so if there's disclosures from a spouse that were unknown to you, and it may shock you, it might have to do with their own money, their own ledgers, their own bank account, their own finances, right? Maybe you thought they had a lot of money and they disclosed they spent it all gambling, you know? Maybe you thought they had none and they tell you they've been tucked away their family treasures away from you. Do you find it through them or somebody else tells you? I don't know. With the South Node not drawn in here, but traveling through your 7th house, there's a lot of pressure on long-term marriage and love for you. In fact, there's such pressure right now that it's some of you, especially with Venus, Uranus in the 4th, I think some of you are looking at potentially wanting to jettison away from that relationship, or you have a feeling there's an impending collapse of that relationship for some of you. And so you're having to deal with those things in the backdrop. And now there's just intense energy the first half of this week regarding the themes I've tried to itemize. When we look at the coming weekend, starting on this Friday through to next Monday, the beautiful flowing rainbow of love, the happy stuff comes from the sun, lighting the Taurus third house of siblings, of short distance travel, of writing, communicating, marketing, selling, teaching, divining, and scrying and fortune telling. All kinds of things the sun's lighting up there. Mercury, commerce, and commercial success as well. And as the sun is sitting here, the sun opens up a beautiful flow to the planet of luck, Jupiter, in a lucky house, the fifth house. Something feels like good fortune to you. It feels like good fortune if you are online, if you market, sell, teach, write. It looks like a monetary love up. It brings you a feeling of gratitude. It looks like, if you put something online, it could sell well. You could be in a marketing heyday. Your course that you want to teach or take or learn suddenly opens double doors towards you. An opportunity to travel, to see your children or your children coming your way as well. Whether you're taking those travels or you're planning them, this is going to be easy, flowing, and glowing for you, and effortless and lovely. Jupiter rules your career house. So a lot of you, I'm thinking, especially if you're entrepreneurial or you work online or artistic and creative, are having a glow up in your reputation and in your career as you approach this coming Friday all the way through to Monday next week. Thank you for that. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Lunatic Astrology.